Coming up on the Making Waves VO podcast.
Hopes and dreams and fears and passions, and you don't always have a chance to do that on like a paragraph audition, but if you've got like 5 or 6 pages of stuff, flesh it out, because nobody else is going to do it, and if you want them to take you seriously, you better take their character seriously, right?
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves. Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
Making waves.
This is the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell.
Yes, indeed. It is the Making Waves VO podcast. I'm so excited to have Cissy Jones on in just a minute. But Bobby, we must tell everybody that we're so proud to have an amazing sponsor. The Making Waves VO podcast is presented by our good friends at Full Compass, fullcompass.com.
We know VO.
Bobby, how are you today?
I'm kind of fangirling.
Yeah, why not?
To be honest.
Yeah.
She's one of the first names I heard when I got into voiceover. So, yeah.
That's going to be, we're going to do a deep dive with her in just a second. But how's your week been?
It's been great. I'm surprised at how busy December can be. So love it. Bring it on.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have her on. I've had a good week, by the way. Thanks for asking. Thanks for not asking.
Sorry. My head was in middle of decorations and wrapping and everything. It's just not working.
Yeah, I understand completely. Well, let's bring her into the room. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the multi-talented voice actor, Cissy Jones. Cissy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you guys?
Doing great.
Well. Thank you so much. I must tell you that going down your IMDb page was exhausting.
Right? Do you ever sleep or relax?
What is this sleep you speak of? Make it make sense.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's go back to the origins of your VO career. What was like one of the first animated characters that you can recall voicing?
Animated or video game?
Either way, either one of those.
So I don't know how to say this without sounding kind of like a jackass, but I booked my first audition for
Wow.
Katya in The Walking Dead.
Okay.
And so she was my first character and my first job, and she changed everything. I then ended up doing 9 characters throughout that whole series.
Wow.
And it was amazing. I met some of my best friends. Current co-founder of my startup company was my director on that job. And it just launched me into a lifelong love affair with voicing video game characters and characters of all ilk, I suppose.
So that first audition, how did that come about? Did you even have an agent or did you know people in the industry? Okay.
No, ma'am. I knew nobody in the industry. I am the farthest thing from a Nepo baby you could possibly find. I was a student at a voiceover school in San Francisco. And through that school, I managed to meet my agent at Stars, Nate Tico.
Oh.
And I got the audition through Stars right after they signed me. It was like they signed me on a Tuesday, and on Wednesday I got this packet of auditions. And, every woman in the Bay Area auditioned for every female character in the game. So I auditioned for Clementine, I auditioned for Lily and Carly. But there was something about Katya that just jumped off the page at me. She reminded me so much of someone that I hold very near and dear to my heart. And she was lovely, and I just gravitated towards her. And I turned in my first audition with a really terrible accent. And the producers got back to my agents, and they were like, "We really like her choices, but the accent, maybe no." So she was Belgian. She was a Belgian woman who had lived in the States for a long time, and I had a Belgian friend, and I was like, "Hi, I'm going to follow you around with a tape recorder and make it real awkward for a little while." And I did. And then I nailed the accent and booked the job.
Oh, that's amazing. What a great feeling that must have been out of the gate.
Oh, my God. I was like, I've done it. I've made it. I'm in. I am the voiceover. And then,
And you're like, voiceover's easy.
Yeah.
It's so easy, guys. Everyone should do this. And then I moved to Los Angeles and I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, there's competition.
Oh, damn. Right. Yeah.
Can you go over, for our listeners, just some of the highlights? You mentioned The Walking Dead, but some of the big video games that you've worked on and maybe any animation projects you've worked on, some of the bigger ones.
You make me feel like Troy McClure. I'm Troy McClure. You may
Troy
remember me from
McClure.
such films as. No, I mean, I've been really fortunate. From The Walking Dead, I then also got to work with the same producers on Firewatch. And forgive if you hear the pounding in the background. I just moved into a new place and I have people building furniture for me.
No worries at all.
But the people that wrote The Walking Dead season 1 then left Telltale and founded Campo Santo and wrote Firewatch, and they approached me and asked if I would want to be the lead in that game. So I said yes, because when people ask you that question, you say yes.
Is that the one that took 2 years to record?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Is that normal?
Games take a minute. Yeah. I mean, I worked on Starfield for 8 years.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Hopefully they paid you before 8 years.
Yes. I mean, and you know, it's not every day. It's not like I wake up and I'm like, well, going to the office today from 8 to 4. Like that's not how it goes. It's a couple sessions here, a 3-month lull, a couple sessions there. But yeah, so I did Firewatch and then Starfield, as I just mentioned. I got to work on Baldur's Gate 3. I think I'm the only character in Baldur's Gate 3 that you can't romance, which is so funny at conventions. And then animation-wise, I got to work on the Owl House for Disney, which was transformative for so many reasons. Blood of Zeus, which also was just incredible. And a couple of other, animated things. I don't know, man. You just do the work and go on. I feel very lucky. I do. It sounds so cliche, and also like I get to do this for work. Okay.
Well,
I
I love Wikipedia because, some of the things can be true or not, but it said before you became a voiceover actress, you did white collar work. That's all it says.
Did. Not white collar crime.
There's a typo. What was white collar work, Cissy?
So I worked in the Silicon Valley. I was a corporate shill. Actually, I was a startup shill for a couple of different startup companies. I worked for a venture capital firm. I worked for people who had a lot more money than I did, and I was deeply unhappy. I worked for some really cool people. I learned a lot of really great lessons that I still use to this day. But I was just deeply unfulfilled, and I hated my life. And so, I kind of stumbled into voiceover by happenstance. I was on a trip with my aunt and some other people, and we were talking about dream jobs, and I mentioned that I'd always wanted to be a voice on The Simpsons, but you probably just got to live in Hollywood, because who even gets that dream job anyway? And about 2 weeks later, I was getting ready for work one soul-sucking morning, and Nancy Cartwright, who is the voice of Bart Simpson, was on the radio talking about the Simpsons movie, and she was like, oh, by the way, voiceover is the best job on the planet, and you guys have a voiceover school right here in your backyard. And that's how I started taking lessons.
You don't want to miss what's next. Making Waves returns momentarily.
This is the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell. I'm Chris McCloy, and they didn't pay me a dime to say this. Why am I doing this for free? Hang on a sec. I'll talk to my agent.
Oh, Bobby, I remember getting into voiceover, and one of the most exciting parts about getting into voiceover is buying all the gear. You don't realize that until you become a voice actor and you got to produce your own stuff. And you go, ooh, this part should be fun. But then you go, I have not a clue on what I'm supposed to buy.
Exactly.
That's why you trust your good friends at Full Compass, fullcompass.com. They know VO there, and you're going to have a great selection of pro audio gear, and you're going to get a lot of good help. And there's a lot of good attributes that go along with buying from Full Compass.
Yeah, so if you're not really sure when you got the piece of equipment and you have questions about it, they have a free 2-year service or repair plan. They have free shipping on orders over $49. I love that. I think my favorite thing is the low price guarantee, because you just never know. You said a second ago that you're getting into this and you don't know what you need, but how about, do you know if you're paying the right price for it? So you don't have to worry about that when you shop at fullcompass.com. They'll guarantee to match the price on the products they sell for new, identical, and immediately available products offered at a lower price.
They have flexible financing, Bobby, and they also have free expert assistance, and that's why we say we know VO at Full Compass.
Everything from microphones to interfaces to headphones to mic booms, they've got it.
If you have any questions and you're more old school and you want to call them on the phone, you can call Full Compass at 800-356-5844. Full Compass and fullcompass.com.
We know VO.
Making Waves returns. I want to go back a little ways in your career, and I want to read the description of a project that you worked on. And I'm going to see if you can recount how this recording may have gone or the whole thing. I'll just read you the description right now. Okay. In a pleasant area of suburban Florida, a wildly dysfunctional family reaches a breaking point, and a large alligator escapes from a nearby gator farm. That is so random. The project was called Gator Farm.
Gator Farm, yes. That was a live action thing, but I was just a voice on a radio.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's a deep cut, man.
Yeah. Like, it just seems so random by the description. And pleasant area of suburban, a family reaches a breaking point and an alligator escapes. Okay.
The Gator Farm.
Yeah.
That's funny. Kevin's name in radio, he was a jock, was Gator.
Yeah, I was.
Gator Farm.
Yeah. Well, just Gator, kind of like Cher, kind of like Madonna. Yeah, all those good things. Let's talk about character development and stuff like that. What are some of the key things that you dial into when you see a script? Is it like you focus on an accent, like you mentioned earlier, or is it about fleshing out the character itself more?
I mean, the voice always comes after, right? It's always about the character. And Courtney Taylor, who is one of my dearest friends, and can I swear on this thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Fucking legend in the industry. She was Jack in Mass Effect and Soul Survivor and Fallout 4. And, she's on the Critical Role show. She's just amazing. And she also happens to be like one of the best, most purest humans. She told me that she thinks about what shoes this character would wear.
Wow.
And my God, if that doesn't inform, like, is this a person that wears like Louboutin spikes? Or is this a person that's wearing like Doc Martens? Is this a person that's like, rocking flip-flops? Right?
How fun.
And so, that's always a fun place to start. But I like to dial into what makes a person tick, like hopes and dreams and fears and passions. And, you don't always have a chance to do that on like a paragraph audition, but if you've got like 5 or 6 pages of stuff, flesh it out, because nobody else is going to do it. And if you want them to take you seriously, you better take their character seriously. Right. I also really like to find levels in a script. So I think there's always room for an intimate moment, like whether it's like really close, like you're having just a closer conversation because it makes the listener lean in, or like if you're getting mad about something and you get a little bit louder, right? I think there's always room to play and finding those spots that shake it up, because, I like to think of casting directors and producers and stuff, if they put out an audition for a lead in a AAA game or a lead in an animated series, right? They're going to get maybe 2,000 or 3,000 auditions of the same character, maybe a couple hundred even, right? And if you think about every single person out there approaching the first 5 lines in exactly the same way, why would they care? And so I always think of them eating like a really shitty sandwich. Like it's just terrible, like leftover tuna. Like nobody's happy. God, we got to get through these auditions. Okay, just play them. And it's the same, it's the same, it's the same. And then I pop in and do something completely unexpected and different. And it makes them put down their shitty sandwich and go, wait, no. Go back to the front. Go back to the beginning of this one. I want to hear it again. So I like to make them put down their shitty sandwich. That's what I do.
I love that. So you've got all kinds of little outlets that make you stand out and be creative. That's so cool. You've been doing this since what, 2010, 2011 or so?
Yeah.
How have you noticed your voice changing as you age?
Not terribly. I mean, it's funny because I always get roles for like mom or evil queen or, evil whatever. But I have sounded like this since I was 16 years old, right?
Oh, wow.
So, okay, like let's not typecast here, guys. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I haven't noticed much of a change, but I'm also a lot pickier now about not just going in for a session that's going to wreck my chords. I don't like doing efforts heavy sessions if I can avoid them. So I'm sure that helps.
That was going to be one of my questions is how often do you lose your voice? And if you want to throw out some health tips to our listeners on how to keep it, in tune.
I have had 2 sessions where I left with my throat bleeding.
Oh my gosh.
And they were with the same director. So I no longer work with that director. But I also found 2 women who are remarkable. Reena Gupta, who is an otolaryngologist here in Los Angeles, meaning she specializes in the larynx and the vocal cords. And Mindy Pack, who is a vocal coach. And Mindy Pack developed the voice straw, which is a straw phonation system that is remarkable. And the ability for straw phonation to reset your vocal cords is a thing of beauty. So the last session where I left thinking like, oh my God, I think I'm done. Like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this anymore. I did a really intensive couple of days of straw phonation with her and then vocal rest, and I bounced right back. Because if you think about, and I don't know if this will make sense in an audio format, but if you think about your vocal cords, right, they're 2 parallel pieces of tissue, essentially. And when you speak, they make a wave, right? If you scream, they can get off kilter. And so instead of making this beautiful wave together, they bump each other at weird spots. And that's where you start getting damage, right? And with straw phonation, when you are blowing air through a very small pinhole of a straw, some air is escaping through the straw and the rest is kind of forced back down to reset your cords. So the pressure of the air coming back down is what resets your cords to that beautiful parallel spot. And so for anybody who wants to do this seriously, learn straw phonation. And if you are in a position to afford the voice straw, they're very affordable. Mindy also sends like a starter video kit so that you can see how to use them. And of course, you can book lessons with her to do a tailored thing as well. But it is the best investment in your instrument that I can.
I love that. That's some great advice. I had a similar thing, 2007 or so. I do a lot of automotive, and especially back then, Cissy, some of them were
Real
screamers,
heavy.
right? Yeah. And so I did this spot for a dealer in Florida, and the agency hit me back up, and they're like, Kev, can you go bigger on this? And I'm like, that's pretty effing big right now. And I'm like, yeah, let me see what I got. And then I just pounded it out, right? I really did. And then boom. I went from $5.99 a month.
God.
And then I lost it, and it was gone for 3 days.
Wow.
And so, and then that was a lesson to myself, never, my 10 is now an 8 for anybody that asks. To me,
100.
they want a 10, you're going to get an 8. I'll tell you it's 10, but it's an 8 for me because I learned immediately where I could push it and where I needed to stop. So you're talking about the reset that you're talking about, the reset of the vocal cords, that 3-day period, that was just a matter of time of the air getting in and out and resetting that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, in that situation, it's just the muscles going back to where they know to exist,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So the vocal rest allows the cords to not continue to move and set up in a new spot,
Okay.
right? It's like if you pull a muscle, right? You rest it and you hope that it goes back to where it's supposed to be. But if you keep moving it, it is going to now live as like a zombie muscle in like a new spot. And eventually it will pull
Wow.
something else out of whack, right? It's the same with your chords. They're
Wow.
they're very tuned, very specialized pieces of tissue that we happen to make a living using. And yeah, you have to take care of them properly.
That's great. Let me follow up on that really quick. Going back to you and your issue with the director and losing your voice a couple of times and, how strenuous that must have been. Was that any specific type of character or what are the most challenging characters for you to do? Like villains, kids, what?
So the first one was a game that they did not want to localize, meaning they didn't want to have to translate into different languages. And so rather than having the player character, which I voiced, speak words, they just had it do like grunts and screams. And it was basically efforts, right?
Okay, yeah.
Barfs and like just terrible sounds with your mouth. But it was a 9 a.m. session, which is
no.
just rude. And
Yeah. For that kind
for
of
that
work
kind
it
of
is.
stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
And I was pregnant, right? And so I don't know if that changed anything. I don't know. But then the next session was for it was for a background character, just an NPC in a huge open world game, and she was a berserker. And so, loud and angry and screaming in a foreign language. And I listen, probably shouldn't have auditioned it in hindsight, but also like, you know how we are. We're like dancing monkeys.
Yeah.
Somebody gives us a script and we're like, ooh, I want that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could fit any role.
Totally. Watch me do this perfectly.
Hi, everyone. This is voice actor Karin Gilfrey, and you're listening to my awesome friends Kevin and Bobby on the amazing Making Waves VO podcast.
I would imagine you do a lot of Comic Cons. Do you
I
do them across the
I do a
country?
fair amount. I mean,
And
do you mean like Comic Cons, like panels, or going to conventions for signings and stuff?
yes, going for signings.
Yeah, I do some. As I'm sure you know, it's all about what's hot in the moment. So when the Owl House was in its finale, people wanted us at every convention. And now, I've done some other games and stuff, but again, like I'm not a romanceable character in Baldur's Gate 3, so you can't seduce my character. So the desire to have me there to sign autographs is not as big as it is for other characters. It's all about like, what's hot right now. It's very interesting.
If you're up for it, we would love to get a nightmare session story from you a little bit later. That's just maybe a recording session where now we've already been exposed to the losing the voice one. So maybe another session that couldn't have gone much worse. If you have one to share, if not, no worries about that at all. What's changed the most in animation and video game work since you've been doing this?
Oh Lord.
Strikes?
Yeah.
No, I would say COVID.
Oh.
I would say what happened, we were already starting to see a lot of roles for games and animation go to on-camera actors or, quote unquote celebrities. And COVID really kickstarted that into high gear. And I will say like 2020, purely monetarily speaking, and in terms of time in the booth, was the best year of my career because I already had a home studio. There was a quick stutter step when the world shut down, and then it was like, boom, you are booked 5 sessions a day, fucking go, get there. And it was, mayhem. And then 2021 was the worst year of my career because that was when all of the on-camera people figured out, oh, I can just do voiceover for some extra cash. And so they all built a home studio or something akin to it. And all of those roles started going there, which was really interesting. And then when the world opened back up again and all of those on-camera people were required back on set, they were like, people needed to either work around their crazy schedules, recording it Sunday at 3:00 in the morning, or recast, right? And so I would say that has been one of the most interesting challenges. And it also opened up the markets to not just major hubs, right? So suddenly you don't have to live in LA, you don't have to live in New York, you don't have to live in Chicago. You could live anywhere. It is coming back a little bit, I think, especially for games and animation. I'm seeing a lot more auditions that's like, you must live in LA or be willing to travel on your own dime because they want continuity of sound for the studios.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that prior to AI was the biggest change / threat that I saw. And now we have AI. It's so fun.
What about the strikes? I mean, the last one was pretty long, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it was necessary because, again, we're facing an existential crisis with AI. We have...
What did you... Yeah, go ahead.
You're talking about the video game strike or the on-camera strike?
The video game strike. Yeah, right.
Pick a strike.
I just wondered, if being long like that, that's got to affect you financially, yeah,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really hard, but also I really believed in what we were asking for. I did not think that what we were asking for was egregious. And it's not just to save our skins, it's to save like the studio owners and the editors and the dialogue producers. And you know what I mean? Like, if voiceover goes away because of AI, what do you think happens to all those auxiliary jobs?
Yeah.
It's not just us. It's huge. It's huge. Nava did a survey or a research study. Words are great for me right now. And they found that for every voiceover person, for every voiceover job, there were 9 auxiliary jobs that were affected that are not voiceover.
Wow.
So, I understand that AI is interesting and exciting, and the possibilities are really interesting. They can be interesting. And also, if it's not done mindfully, suddenly universal basic income is no longer the butt of the joke.
That's heavy. That's serious stuff right there. Can we lighten this up a little bit? I want to talk about some of the characters. I want to talk about some of the characters that you've done throughout your career. Do you have a favorite one or two that you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit of performance with us?
Yeah. God,
think of a character,
choice, isn't it?
Yeah, but think of a character, and then if you would just have that character like maybe order a cup of coffee or something like that.
All right, this is
No
one that
pressure.
not everybody saw. Oh my God, can I just get like a cup of coffee with no foam, oat milk, pistachio side, and like a shot of vanilla?
That's a lot of fry, girl.
That is a lot of fry. Now, what was that character?
She was an anthropomorphic nail file from a show called Little Big Awesome.
I need a degree just to break down what you said.
I know. No, it was this sweet show on Amazon called Little Big Awesome, and it's just ridiculous. And I got to play a nail file that ran the inconvenience store. And it was so ridiculous and hilarious, and I loved it so much, and I wished more people had seen it.
Oh, that fry is on point, though.
That was really good. So you said you have a baby. Are they old enough to get what mom does for a living?
I have 2 kids. Yes. And yeah. But of course it's like, oh, mom's in the owl house and we don't need to watch that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so rude. So rude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I say to my kids, I have this documentary that's out. We could watch it if y'all want it.
Pass.
Yeah. Like, wow, thanks.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my
Totally.
gosh.
It is really funny.
Definitely
Um,
don't turn to family for getting any kind of encouragement. That's for sure.
Do you
No.
do?
Meanwhile, all their friends are like, "Oh my God, you're in Fortnite? You're in Baldur's Gate?" I'm like, "Also, why are you playing Baldur's Gate? You're like 10, sir, please." Um, but yeah.
You were mentioning like ancillary things that go on in our world. Like for every voice actor doing something, there's all these other jobs, and one of those jobs would be a voice acting coach. Do you do any coaching now?
I don't have time. I did coach for a little bit, and it takes a lot out of me because I never want somebody to come and feel like I'm just taking their money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I didn't charge very much because also we're fucking actors. Like I can't understand people that are charging like breakneck prices to actors. But so I didn't charge very much, and then it really taxed my energy, and I realized I just didn't have much left in the tank to do like my own auditions and stuff. So I stepped back. I will coach every now and then. Like tonight, I'm going to do a group coaching thing,
Hmm.
but I don't do much of it.
In the Making Waves VO podcast, we'll be right back.
Surf's Up. It's the Making Waves VO podcast with Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell. This is voice actor and studio owner Christy Bowen, and they appreciate you listening.
Full Compass is your one-stop destination for cutting-edge audio, video, and lighting solutions. With nearly 50 years of industry expertise, we offer a vast selection of high-quality equipment from microphones, recording interfaces, and software to audio accessories, monitors, headphones, and other pieces to help you find your ideal sound. Our trained product experts are here to help every step of the way with unmatched customer service. You'll also get free same-day shipping, flexible financing options, and a low-price guarantee. Visit us online at fullcompass.com or call 800-356-5844 today.
Now back to the podcast. I jumped on and looked at your demos, and there was like, gaming, animation, trailer, and then political. Just kind of stood
Yes.
out. Is that just something that you just say, I'm not going to put all my eggs in one basket? How did political get in there?
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be able to do all the things to make a living doing this. You have to be, because gone are the days of a national television union spot paying $100,000. Gone are the days of an animated show airing on cable network and you get residual checks of thousands and thousands of dollars. They're gone. The new media contract in SAG-AFTRA is fine for what it is, but the money is not there. So you have to be able to switch gears and do all the things. And I did quite a bit of politicals for a while. So yeah.
It's
I
fun.
think
It's a fun genre.
Yeah, it can be. It can be for sure.
Have you got a dream character that you would like to do, or is there a character from history that you would love to have done?
I would love to see a Jane Bond.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Very cool.
yeah.
That's brilliant.
Listen, I'm not British, so I probably wouldn't book it, but like, I would jump at the chance to do that, or like a female Indiana Jones or something like that. Like, hell yeah, let's ride.
Can you do a British accent?
Of course, we're actors.
Okay, I want to hear it. I want to hear
Oh,
Pick
God.
another character. Putting you on the spot.
All right. I did a character called Fury for Darksiders 3. She's one of the seven deadly sins. Is that right? Or maybe she was one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. I don't know. Anyway, there was like apocalypse and shit. And but she was very angry about everything, and everything was right here the entire time. It
Wow.
was so fun. I had so much
That's
fun.
intense.
But yeah,
Maybe
I do
maybe
a
you
ton
will
of
get Jane
accents.
Bond.
I would love it. I would love it. I would love to just be like, devil may care, a woman existing in the world, like using her wiles and everything at her disposal to, turn men into putty and do things for me.
That brings me to the question: do you use a lot of athleticism in your recordings, in your auditions and roles? Are you
Absolutely.
moving around a lot? Because I've
Absolutely.
heard that in video games, especially, that you have to.
Yeah. Because, okay, so let's say I have to do a running scene.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me the difference between, okay, we have to get to that spot over there. If we don't get there, we're never going to make it. Versus, okay, we have to get to that spot over there. If we don't get there, we're never going to make it.
Oh, that's
Guess which
beautiful.
one I was moving on?
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic. And what a difference you heard and
Yeah.
your investment in the character in that moment too. And that was one of the levels you were talking about, right? You just showed us two.
Let me tell you about the
levels.
shoes she was wearing. I'm just kidding.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that. If you're cool with it, do you have a nightmare session story you would want to share in just a second?
Sure.
Okay, all right. I got one final question for you, and then let Bobby go again. But we're going to get philosophical here. If a younger version of yourself walked into the booth today, what would she say?
Holy shit, you get to do this for real? You make a living doing this? My God.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And I would tell her, don't change a thing. Every misstep, every heartbreak, every perceived failure gets you here.
That's sage advice.
I was really hoping you'd put that fry on there, though, again. With
Oh my God, you get to do this for money. That's amazing. In that session, they were like, how long can you draw out that fry? And I was like, how long you got?
Yeah, minutes.
How fun. Well, I'd love to hear her do the nightmare session now, Kev.
Oh my gosh. So these are things that happen to all of us. It might be a recording session that couldn't have gone much worse. Sissy Jones, would you please favor us with a nightmare session story?
Nightmare Sessions.
See, I hate doing this because I feel like we really are so blessed. And I know that, again, cliche, but to get to do this for a living, to call something a nightmare when I know that there are people out there literally breaking their backs. But okay. I mean, we've all had the commercial session where you walk in and you do the first read and it's like, okay, that was great. Let's do it 97 other times. And then they take one as the hero. Always. I had a session for a game that is not well known, so I'm not worried about blowing up anyone's spot here. But we get very little information about our characters, if any, before the actual game. Sometimes we even get scripts that are fake, right? Because they don't want anything to leak about the game or the character or whatever. So I walked into this session and I knew that the character I was going to be doing had a deeper voice, because guess what? I have a deeper voice. And they showed me a picture of her. And when I tell you she was like 98% boobs, and I was like, well, this should be fun. And so, I would do my take and they'd be like, cool, give us a second. And then, they'd turn off the talk back and I'd see them like chatting back and forth. Sissy, that was great. Can you do that again? But like sexier, just sexier. And I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, sure. It's I get it, but also like, ugh, it's so demeaning. And every time, and they'd be like, yeah, no, just like throatier, like make her like, and I'm like, I'm the only woman in like a 12-mile radius, right? And I'm going, oh Lord. And it just wouldn't end. Every line, yeah, just really lay it on thick. And I'm like, but it's not real at that point, Like, I like my characters to be infused with a little realism, for God's sake. And it was a caricature by the end of it.
98% boobs, I could see why.
Yeah.
You could see why, right?
Yeah, not great. Not great. I was also like, how's your back, girl? Like, how's your back?
Can't even see her shoes.
Oh, Lord. Nope. She's like, I haven't tied a shoelace in 12 years. Yeah.
How fun your job is. That's so this has been great. Some good nuggets in here.
Yeah,
It is
Cissy, thanks so much for your
ridiculous.
time. If
No, thank you
anybody
guys. I
wanted to
really
reach,
appreciate it.
if anybody wanted to reach out to you, for any thoughts or bookings or anything like that, do you want to share any contact info?
Sure. I'm on Instagram at Cissy Speaks, or you can reach my agent for bookings. I love bookings. I'm with Heather Dame at Atlas. She's Heather at atlastalent.com, or you can go to my website at cissyjones.com. Fun fact, when I first got onto the Twitters and Instagram, there was already a Cissy Jones.
Oh, really?
Who was a massive belieber, if you remember those days when
Oh
Justin
my
Bieber was a
gosh.
thing. And I was like, who's this? And she's this British, now she's like an influencer. She like does unboxings of food and biscuits and stuff. So I had to go with Cissy Speaks. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, man.
Well, it's been a pleasure getting to know you and learning about your career, and thanks for all the advice you shared, and thanks for the stories too.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was lovely talking with you.
You as well. Thanks so much.
All right, take care.
Well, that wasn't what I expected. I don't know what I expected. I guess I should have expected somebody with such life and funny. Talk about funny.
Oh, she's hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect, but what a pleasure having Cissy Jones on to talk about her career and have some fun. Yucking it up with us.
She kind of reminds me of our friend Kay Bess. And
my gosh,
I
yeah.
bet they know each other. They share the same agent and lived in L.A. and yeah.
Yeah, they probably do. And this world, in a lot of ways, is so small, our voiceover world, so I'm sure they would know each other. And but yes, great getting to know her. Another fun episode of the Making Waves VO podcast, presented by our good friends at Full Compass, fullcompass.com.
We know VO.
Perfect.
The Making Waves VO podcast is produced by K2 Media Productions with hosts Kevin Kilpatrick and Bobby Maxwell. Sound design and editing by Jason Traver. Production assistance by Lacey Deline. Publicity and social media by Shannon Scott and Silas Phillips. Be sure to subscribe to the Making Waves VO podcast on your favorite platform. For all episodes, merchandise, gear, and more, visit makingwavesvo.com. Until next time, I'm AJ McKay. Keep making waves.